So we now want to ask a question posed from the audience. So we got questions from Alex, Thomas, Lori, Zane, Karen, Lori, and it keeps going. So which one we want to pose, Miles?
So Rob, before the event, we also had some questions submitted, and there's a couple that came in as well today that are talking about how would you describe the pros and cons of IPO versus acquisition versus SPACs from the perspective of the CEO, and specifically the CEO, not the company. So they're saying, is one more attractive to the CEO than the other for equity or other reasons? And what about IPO as a path to acquisition? Is that the best of both worlds, or just the long way around and straight out acquisition would be preferable? So you can direct that where you need.
All right. Why don't we start with Roger, and then we'll go to Ivana and then Frank, if everybody has anything to say. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I think from the perspective of the CEO, you have to really just believe in the company and start with that mindset. And in many ways, the journey it goes on will really, in many ways, take care of yourself if you build the right business. And so rather than having a focus on whether we need to be acquired or we need to IPO, I think one has to take the company in the direction based on what the company needs. And in particular, for example, if you IPO, why the reasons there might be because access to capital in a manner that's no longer viable in a private manner, rather than necessarily saying, okay, we're now going to put ourselves up for sale. I think putting yourself up for sale is also, it's quite dangerous. I mean, I always think no one sells anything if it's any good. So that's how I see it. But acquisitions obviously come on by as you build a business, and that's not a bad outcome if the price is fair.
All right, Ivana, did you have something to add?
Yeah, sure. So I would certainly align with you, Roger, in the fact that the companies are bought, not sold, and that our role is to build value along the way. But, I always ask myself, what is the right thing for the patients that we're trying to serve? And so that is what would guide me in any type of, discussion that will come along the way. Because, there's a lot that needs to be done. And you need to ask yourself, are we the right people to get this medicine to patients as quickly as possible? And so that's a question that involves over time, right? So that would be certainly something that I would keep in mind. I certainly would not put, I'm here so that I can go IPO. I would say, is that the right thing? Is that the right thing for the patients, for us to go IPO? Is that, can we raise sufficient capital to get us to the patients as quickly as possible? So I think as long as we keep that in mind, I think we make ultimately the right decisions for everybody.
Frank, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I'll just add on. Very much agree with Roger and Ivana. Just one step further, some additional color. As an example, to the extent that you believe the molecule could be a pipeline and a product, or maybe you have several of those, and you think about what can your organization do in terms of delivering on some of the initial indications to various populations around the various geographies. And you compare that to if another partner or acquirer could do that faster and bring those molecules faster to patients, that's a win-win all around. And so I think those are some of the discussions that one might have as you think about the various strategic options ahead.